And with me, as we get ready for the annual Port Jervis Soapbox Derby, I have one of our organizers, Assistant Director Wayne Addy, with us. And here we are. I call it 2 days and a wake up. Am I right? 2 days and a wake up.
There you go. Yep, we're almost here. How you doing this morning, Michelle? Thank you for having me.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. So, how are you? How's the vibe? How are the racers? How's the community? Let's break it down as we get ready for this race on Sunday.
Well, I think I'm tired already, but that's normal.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm tired already, that's normal. But things are good. We're cranking up. I mean, obviously, we're super, super busy, just getting everything aligned, getting trailers loaded, getting people in the right places, volunteers, staff. And of course, the drivers are getting super excited. So we're getting there.
You're getting there. So let's talk about the drivers, real quick, because this is it. They're the ones I've seen, and I've seen individual and dual, like two in a car. And
Sure.
So that's a thing. I only thought it was just one person.
Well, it was only one person for such a long time, but we realized, and Akron realized that we need to let anybody who wants to drive a car drive a car. So we started a division called Super Kids, and that Super Kids division is a division for kids with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not able to drive a car, the Scott family built special cars that are capable of holding a child side by side, the same exact wheels. They're no different, same exact axles. But the special needs child is in the car with a pilot, and their pilot is normally a child who's won the local division here and gone to Akron, Ohio, and then they compete locally here. So, and that child also, if they win here, goes to Akron, Ohio. So it's just another program that we brought to the Soapbox Derby, and it's a super program. It's definitely a special one.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Akron. I know we have to get through the weekend, and then we'll talk again after the Soapbox Derby is over. So what happens after Sunday?
So after Sunday, we're going to crown 4 champs: a stock, a super stock, a masters, and a super kids. Those cars at that point, then they actually become impounded, and then we go through a final inspection, make sure everything's good and everything was right, and nobody's trying to do any cheating. And
no shenanigans. I gotcha.
Exactly. No shenanigans. Make sure everything's right.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, then we meet with the champions, and we basically line them up for the second weekend in July, where they go to Akron. They actually go out there on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're there from Sunday to Sunday. It's a whole week of racing and fun and amusement parks. They've got a lot of stuff for the kids to do. They've got a parade out there for the kids. The sponsors here locally, obviously, help pay for that all expense paid trip to Akron, Ohio. And then, all our staff and stuff goes out probably in the Thursday, Friday area. So by the time we get out there, we're definitely well over 50 people strong to support these kids out there in Akron. And Super Kids race on Friday, and then Super Stock Masters races on Saturday. And then we have a lot of fun. We have a huge barbecue for the kids while we're out there. And then we all come home safely on Sunday. So it's a lot. It's not just this weekend. After that, we gear up for the Akron trip. So
is there a first, second, third that goes, or is it just the top in the division?
Locally here, it's the top in the division.
Mm-hmm.
So the first place driver, they go out to Akron, Ohio in each division, and then they go out there, and Akron actually places 8. So 1 through 8 place, but there's a lot of kids out there.
Yeah.
In total, there's probably over 600 champions from not even just in the United States, but all over the world. Japan was there, Italy was there, Germany's been there. So it's pretty cool. The kids get to meet a lot of people from a lot of different areas.
Oh, and I'm sure, and they all swap stories and, get the families together. And I'm sure you want to hope lifelong relationships. So we're getting ready for Sunday. Set the stage. What time do they start closing the streets in the city of Port Jervis? What time do you and your team get there? What can we expect?
So we actually start on Saturday. We have to do a final practice and an impound on Saturday. So Sussex Street will start the closures early on Saturday morning. We don't close the entire street because we have the post office and stuff that we have to deal with. They're open till 1 o'clock, so we try to respect the businesses. So my guys at the DPW will be on the track as early as 9 o'clock on Saturday. We'll start, like I said, slow road closures. We'll start setting up the hill. And then by 1 o'clock, once the post office closes, we actually start practicing. We practice on Saturday. We stop a little short of the finish line just before Ball Street. So we leave that area open because we have Alton's Pharmacy and stuff on the other side that has to stay open. And then the cars will stay with us overnight. They actually get impounded. They'll be at the top of Sussex Street. At that point, basically, Sussex Street will be closed in 2 different spots. Remaining open will be Ball Street and Hammond Street, for access. And then Sunday morning, nice and early. Sunday morning, as early as probably 5 o'clock, everything shuts down, and Sussex Street becomes an entire racetrack. And kids will be on the hill super early. We're hopefully going to get racing by 8:30 in the morning. We've got a field of 90, so we need to get going early. So we're going to be racing by 8:30. The driver's parade and opening ceremonies normally happens around noon. At that point, after that happens, we'll break for lunch, and the kids can go have lunch with their families, and then back up to the top of the hill for the rest of the day. All going well. We would like to finish up around 4 o'clock, 4:30. That's great if we can do that. And then we have closing ceremonies and trophy presentations, etc. Then the DPW comes back in and cleans it all up, and before you know it, hopefully by 9 o'clock that night, the street is open. Well, hopefully, or even earlier, 100%, and it's like it never ever happened.
Right, and there is a lot to do. Coning off the area. It's not a cone. What is that long tube that goes down the middle of the street to keep them in? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's actually a corrugated drainage pipe.
Okay.
Years and years ago, we had a fundraiser banquet, and the Vicaretti family and Deer Park Oil, they actually purchased that pipe for all 685 feet of track. So that kind of is a boundary that has sandbags holding it and hay bales holding it behind it. If the kids, heaven forbid, get a little off course, hopefully that puts them right back in the right direction.
Right.
So we've got to put all that pipe out. So that's almost 1,300 feet of pipe, and I think probably 400 or so sandbags and hay bales and snow fencing and stanchions, and there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's no small feat, and it's for this amazing Port Jervis Soapbox Derby. And good luck to you and your committee and the community and all of the sponsors and the racers. And thank you, Wayne. And we're going to talk next week after the race.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
Have a great weekend.
You as well. Good luck. And there he goes. Excitement. It's going to be a great day on Sunday. They're gearing up for the annual Port Jervis Soapbox Derby. Back with more.